One of the most interesting things I learned was actually from business. It's the concept of a BATNA, or a best alternative to a negotiated agreement. Where you have a negotiated agreement, and then you think about, okay, if this agreement falls apart, what is the worst thing that could happen? And it turns out with that kind of mindset, that applies to so many different things. Like, we have a social contract, but if the social contract falls apart, are you going to murder me? Probably not. Right? And so the edges of the possible outcomes are somewhat defined. I've had this. I walked into a shop and I couldn't use my words. And so I just put on the counter and I pointed, and they spoke to me, and I just pointed out my ear and I shook my head. And I don't know what they thought, I was deaf or whatever, but I was able to complete a transaction, right? So the worst case scenario was I could still go and buy my bag of coffee. And I'm like, well, that's kind of why I went there. So worst case scenario still accomplishes the goal. I was very uncomfortable, and I'm sure so were they. But the next time I was in the shop, I came in and said, oh, I was having a bad day. And they were like, we don't even remember what you're talking about. Great.
Which goes back to everyone has complexities in their life. And even though you think, oh, me asking for an accommodation, me asking for help, or me not being able to speak is going to make them uncomfortable, it's not about you. Their life is not about you. Their life is about them.